This will be April update 2025. I was still in the southern Finland actually in the beginning of April, which feels like ages ago. I was there for the first week, did some customers still and visited friends and family. And then I spent 10 days in Britain, and I think that was the last update that I did. I was still in northern Britain, and I visited my partner. We had a wedding. It was an Asian wedding, my first, and very blingy and dazzling an experience. Thank you for the invite, and it was my partner's university friend. And cherry blossoms were blooming in Kainu when I arrived here on the 18th of April. It was still snowy. I think it was like +3. We still have some really reluctant snow that just won't melt. I've been here in Kainu for 3 weeks, and I think I will do the following updates in a video form, and I will switch this monthly update to YouTube. I will probably share the same video here also for some time, but I think I want to separate a bit these two platforms. And since I started doing these updates in video form anyways, I guess I'll just continue. I think it's even a bit easier for me, and I get more practice in creating videos. But it's taken me time to adjust and start settling here in Kainu. I want to keep this short because I know I have a tendency to create really long videos, and I know everyone is busy these days, unfortunately. But my short explanation on why it's taken me so long to settle is that I've been on the move literally for 16 months because I've been living in my van and visiting friends and always staying at someone's house for 2 weeks and then going to another place for 2 months and then relocating to somewhere else and doing this even like abroad, not just Finland, like north, south, but abroad. So I've been literally on the move for 16 months. I've had my life in suitcases and big bags, and I've just moved those bags with me and stored them somewhere, and then when I needed something I had to go pick up those bags, and that's been my life for 16 months, over a year. But mentally I feel that I've been doing this in one way or another for almost 5 years, because I had a relationship that lasted for 9 years, and of those 9 years we lived together for 2017, 18, 19, 20, 20. I think we lived together for 4 years. And that was a home for me. We had a home. And when I broke up, I first moved and lived with my friend for 5-ish months. I just had my stuff. Again, like I think I packed my stuff in boxes, moving boxes in 2020. And I have not unpacked them until this day. And like even now I feel that I'm a bit cautious, which kind of makes sense. Like it's been many years since I've relocated and moved. I think within that first year when I broke up, I moved roughly 5 times. I first moved like acutely. I moved and lived with my friend, and we co-lived for 5 months. Then I moved into a cheap apartment because I just needed to have my own space. I moved there. I wasn't happy. So, no. Okay, let's go back. I moved at my friend. Then I moved into an expensive apartment. Then I moved into the cheaper apartment. Then I moved back into a bit more expensive because I wasn't happy with the cheapest one. And then my friend co-lived with me, and that was also like this is not only my home. And then I always had someone like a partner in another city at least, so I took the train quite regularly, or like really regularly. And then I also, at one point, I had the 2 year relationship where I traveled to Copenhagen because I had one distance relationship partner there. And my life has just been me constantly living off of my backpack, and I've gotten used to it. I I used to think that I was someone who needs to have the one place where I can retreat, and like that is my safe spot. Like I need to have that. But when that was in a way taken away from me, and then I started looking for connections instead of that one safe retreat. Those connections kept pulling me in multiple directions, and in a process I don't think I meant it to go that way, but once I realized that I am actually quite comfortable with constantly moving and going around, and I actually enjoy that, as long as I have a place to go back to and then rest, maybe like 2 weeks, 2 months, something. I was happy, and that's why I ended up with van life, because I was quite comfortable in that sort of lifestyle. But now that I'm here in Kainuu, it's really hard to change the mentality that I've grown during those 5-ish years, and that just accelerated in the past 16 months, like literally having no apartment to call my home. Like this is my private home, I go back there. So I think I've learned to trust in my routine, and because the routine has been the only thing that I have, and I call my routines my home, and my habits are my home, and they bring me the security and safety and the comfort of being at home. I think I started to value my habits and routines highly, because they gave me the safe feeling. And since I valued them highly, I started to pay extra attention to them because they needed to feel safe. If my routine was something that made me feel anxious or uncomfortable or unable to relax and rest, then I had nothing, because I didn't have an apartment to go and be anxious in. My routines and habits had to make me feel comfortable and safe. So I think that these days I'm so comfortable without a home that now that I have one and I could start building here and settling here, it's probably going to take me quite a long time. I know that I love being here. That was proven last summer, I moved into Kainuu in 24 January, and first I lived in with my grandmother for 3 months. I did my internship, and I was so happy because every time since I was a child, every time I've visited Kainuu and this area, I've felt home. This has been my most grounding retreat place, if I can say. Like every holiday when I was really stressed, I chose to come here. I made a habit of coming here to visit my grandmother every Christmas, and I did that for 7 years. I think I wanted to have a habit or like a routine that grounded me in a yearly basis. So I chose to come here every Christmas. And as the years passed, I chose to spend more and more and more time here. So I think my last Christmas that I spent here, I was here for 3 weeks. And I always made an effort to take that time away from my southern routines and like work chores. And I think I planned, even because I used to work maybe 1 year stretch here and then I started another job, or I worked more so that I could afford be there for that one week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I always felt at home. It felt like coming home when I arrived here all those years. And last January, not this, but the previous one, I decided that I'm gonna try living here. And I did my internship here, 3 months, and I liked it. It was really good. I enjoyed it. That was the city my grandmother lives in, Suomussalmi. But then after, I even took a job, 3 month job as a social worker, and that started to be summertime. And then I chose to try living in my van in Kainu, and I loved it even more. This is such a great area for van lifers because there is basically nothing else than woods. And in Finland, we have amazing facilities for outdoor hikers and just people who want to go outdoors. We have these outdoor fireplaces that are covered, so you can use them even if it's raining, you can sleep there. We have these dry toilets, they're free to use. And I just lived off with those. Like I had my van, and that was all I needed. I had dry toilet there next to me, and because Kaino is such a remote area and there's so few people, and this is not even that popular among tourists, or I would say that some places are, but most tourists don't know that this exists. And this is like the most beautiful Finnish nature. Yeah, not the high-ish mountains that Lapland has, but like basically everything else. You have woods, you have lakes, you have reindeers, untouched nature, and really nice hotels, even really nice what is the word, spas, restaurants, good quality services, internet. You can use your card everywhere. Like it's really modern here still. Like we have kept up with the development, but no one knows about this because this is not Lapland. Everyone knows Lapland, but Kainuu is like this hidden gem. And if you know about it, you travel here, you do van life in here, you can get a whole lake area with a dry toilet and this covered fireplace area to yourself. Maybe there's like one family comes there and they want to grill sausages, but it's a nice experience. They're probably very interested about you if you're like international tourist. They're like, wow, how did you find your way here? So that already brings up good conversation. So if you are respectful and you take care of the nature, you act in a clean way, you don't leave your trash anywhere, people are going to welcome you because they need you here. They need you here using these services. And did I mention the nature? But yeah, I love this place. It's really important to me. And being here feels like home. But like settling in this actual apartment and these walls, and now I don't have to pack all my bags and leave again like in 2 months. That is a mental thing I need to process. And I have people asking me, and they're like, hey, now that you've been here, like, what cool professional dominatrix things have you done? And like, how is your dungeon? And I have to say, I have this shelf, and that's all. That's all I've had energy to do. Like, I've had to digest this really big life change and change in mentality. And because I know this is also something we discussed with Riikkalotta in the live stream discussing Finnish eco-village scene, that the most problems with communities and this like alternative living and even van life, I would say, the biggest problem is that you are lacking the right mentality. And I want to build the mentality and the foundation, like the psychological, mental, spiritual, social foundation first. Because when that's strong, you know that this is 100% a thing that you want. This is where you want to build. This is the exact house you want to start building in, living in. Everyone is certain. The physical part will follow. I mean, money always exists. I can always, when I have a great plan, I can always apply for funding. I can do customers, like more customers than I'm doing now. I can save up. I'm not in a hurry. I am building myself a life. This is not a project. This is not for profit. This is not to achieve something really fast. I'm building myself a life, and that is better built on me mentally being present and not in some previous life stage where I'm constantly moving and moving. Like, that took me a lot of time to adjust to, and I'm really proud of myself that I adjusted to it. I'm way more comfortable with uncertainty. I can honestly say that even now, when I start building here and doing things, I also know that I'm very happy and grounded and safe with a transportable, movable lifestyle. So I'm not afraid of some climate catastrophe. That's not even a thing in Finland. Finland is such a safe country. But even like wars, even if there is a war, I need to relocate, I know I will survive. I'll be happy. I have my van. I'm just concerned if my people, like the people I love, if they are safe and if I am personally safe. But the life itself, you can build that anywhere if you have the mental capacity and you are okay and safe. Those are the things I worry about, not the external things. Yes, I am smart about money. Yes, I am smart about what does it physically require. I am smart about scheduling, how long do things take. Like, I used to work for a construction company for 7 years. I have a pretty good understanding on construction projects. They are always late. Things always take a lot of time. Even the planning and counting and measuring and like getting the material takes time. It's a lot of effort. And that's the reason why I don't want to rush. I want to make sure that I am mentally stable and healthy and more excited than tired of 5 years of moving around endlessly. Yeah, and to answer the question, like, what cool things have you done? I would say that I've returned to my dear friends. It's been amazing to be able to call them and say, hey, let's meet tomorrow. Because that's something I haven't been able to do in a year, like the people who live here. and that's amazing. I have met them, I have hugged them, we have planned really fun things together, and nokkonen, I think we have grew to know each other better, and I'm very trusting, and I know that I made the right decision. We understand each other, even with that short we are basically acquaintances, and then we decide that we want the same thing, and then we understand each other's persona, and like, okay, I get the kind of person that you are, and deciding to do this. And I think we both feel that this was the right call, and things feel bright. And I have 2 cats. I think that's cool. I have never had cats. Now I have 2, and they were a bit, well, they were also cautious, just like me adjusting. They were a bit cautious, and now they sleep on top of me, and I take that as a compliment. I know some people say that they're just like checking their prey when they do this kneading on your lap, but I take that as a compliment. They sleep on my lap when I'm awake and I'm working, and nighttime, I don't know why, but even when I sleep on my side, they sleep on top of me. The other one sleeps here and the other one sleeps on my butt. But it's kind of cute. I wake up to it, and I know that at one point I will probably close the door so they cannot enter my room when I sleep. But right now, it's still this new relationship energy for me and the cats, so I let them sleep on top of me, and they purr, and it is actually quite calming to my nervous system to have 2 purring cats sleeping on top of me. So they are my living weighted blanket. Something else. That's it. People are cool, just like I knew they were. And I have 2 cats, and this is such a beautiful place. There's nature, there's woods, and very few people. And don't get me wrong, I love people, but when there's a crowd, it is very overstimulating. So this feels peaceful. I guess that's it. That's all I've been doing this month, adjusting and getting into this new mindset. Let's see. I know that the pace always quickens towards springtime, and summer is very social, very active. So these updates might change a bit, and I might be doing more in the future. But this was this month, and I wish everyone a really good week. Bye.